Well, with the federal leaders set to debate tomorrow and Thursday, as we've mentioned, there's a group of current and former students that wants them to clarify their positions on gun control. Some are graduates who witnessed the mass shootings at the Polytechnique Montreal 35 years ago. The CBC's Sharon Yonan-Renaud is in Montreal and joins us live now. So what more can you tell us about these students and what they want?
Well, Arthi, these groups gather every year on normally the anniversary of this shooting, which happened in 1989, killing 14 women and injuring another 13. And, this date, December 6th, typically is, a rallying point for these groups to call for stronger gun control and reflect on the progress that needs to be made. The goal of today was to lay out the different platforms that these different federal parties running in this election, where they stand on this issue. And the groups today wanted to specify this is not necessarily an endorsement of any particular party, but they wanted voters to be aware of where these parties stand and what would more align with how voters think on this issue. So ultimately, they looked over the platforms of the conservatives, liberals, the Bloc Québécois, the NDP, and the Green Party, ultimately saying that it is the liberals, the Bloc, and the Greens, which in their eyes align strongest with a stronger gun control policy. And the organizers here, did admit that what voters are most likely looking to in terms of, the issue most on their minds is, of course, cost of living, the tariff war with the U.S., looking for a leader that is going to be able to negotiate with Donald Trump. And they said the goal here isn't necessarily to put the issue of gun control in the hierarchy of issues, but wanting voters to be aware of where the different parties stand and, making sure that this is something they're thinking about when they go into the ballot box. So saying ultimately that, reflecting on the Liberals' track record, their ban of most assault weapons, their implementation of the buyback program, noticing how the Bloc Québécois and Green Party have been historically aligned with those issues. Here's a bit from the organizations here today.
We've been fighting this fight for 35 years. We know that the majority of Canadians support the measures we're fighting for. And we think that this election will determine the fate of what's been done in the past 10 years, even before. And we want to inform Canadians of what choices they have if they care about public safety and especially about gun violence.
This group saying about the work that still has to be done.
Yes, so, they mentioned, of course, that there has been a lot of work done in recent years, most notably, the ban on most assault weapons. But, they say that there is still a long way to go to actually remove these guns from circulation. The buyback program that I mentioned, it's something that, has been laid out, but actually not implemented. The Liberals have implemented the buyback program for businesses, but not necessarily for individuals. This is something that they've been promising to do. And this is something that the groups say really needs to get done and get underway. They also want there to be a larger ban on large capacity magazines. But most importantly, they say that a lot of progress has been made and they don't want over the course of this next election for the country to backtrack on those measures that have already been implemented. Arthi.
Thanks for this. That is the CBC's Sharon Yonan-Renaud. She's in Montreal.